I'm writing an article about this one sale. And first, I wanted to know what's the mood now in Hong Kong and the art market and the collectors. How is it?
The mood is actually, I think the Asia in general, I think generally speaking, is quite hungry. In the past 3 months, we've been doing a lot of private sales, online sales. So I think the demand is there. Obviously, people's buying behavior and format is changing very rapidly, but it's also enabling a lot of things that in the past uh, were a little more difficult. So now reaching us in Christie's or Christie's Hong Kong reaching me on the internet is just as fast as going to your local dealer in the village that usually takes you 10 minutes to drive to, which in the normal times in the past felt like your closest point of contact. And now that everyone is just staying at home, the world is officially flattened. So you're just one click away from talking to a specialist that is half a world away, and it's only just one click away now.
But
It's
it
changing
means
format a little bit.
what
But
are
the
they?
market really is good.
What are they interested in?
Very different things. I mean, depending on.
What's the mainstream of interest? What are
I
I
mean,
mean? They
yeah.
want
I think in
secure
general
things.
is. Yeah, I think the more popular items are things that can be understood digitally. So things that are figurative, color, things that are sharper and louder. In general, I think they have an advantage.
Wow.
Things that are more the more spiritual, the more quiet paintings. Those are more difficult to transact when everything is so digital or virtual.
And
So I
people,
think
do you think people trust the value of art for the future?
I think so. I think like collectors they have been through different crises in the past. They've seen people buying things and collecting things during crisis, and um, I mean it's the same thing during crisis time or during very booming timing. If you buy the right work, it's always a good move. And I mean, if you look back, I mean during like 2008, 2003, 1997, you buy the right work is there's never bad timing.
Yeah, but the thing is that this is a very special crisis, right? With everyone stuck in his own country. I mean, Hong Kong is not open yet. You can't even go to China, right?
Well, you can, but you just need to be in the hotel for 2 weeks. And when you come back, you need to stay in the hotel for another 2 weeks. But you
Okay,
you can go, yeah. But
but you
it
need to
is
love this hotel, huh?
yeah. Or you need to just get used to it.
Have you done it?
I haven't done it. I've been in Hong Kong.
Okay.
Very busy with private sales.
And what about people in China mainland? So are they very hungry? Hungry, as you said, they want to buy art. What's your feeling?
I think people are hungry to transact and to see what's going on, and everyone is turning in every time we have something available digitally, um, and dying to travel. Obviously, just like you and me, I'm sure.
Yeah.
We miss the fairs, we miss the museum shows, we miss to be inspired, and the mood is there. The mood is there. The buying power is there. We just need to find the right way to engage with the buyers.
And what about you spoke about colors, things in a way easy to buy, easy to understand. But what about the big names? Is it working too for private sales?
I mean, for private side, the big names are also working, but again, depending on the subject. So, for example, we would be doing more George Condo paintings, for example, but we do less Kusama Infinity Net in white, which usually people would really want to see to experience it. But then we sell more pumpkins than Infinity Net.
Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, because it's for the artistry, it's better, right?
Uh, no, it's just it's just that it's easier to translate what you're buying and selling from the phone, from your FaceTime, from your video calls, from your high resolution images.
Yeah. And so let's speak about your choices, your selection for the sale one in Hong Kong.
My favorite is Lot 1, which we've announced, I think, on some of the social media, is this work from 1990 by Martin Wong. It's a painting of the Statue of Liberty, but he's reimagined it with his famous brick vision. So the whole statue is made of brick. Talks a lot of mood about the earlier times in New York and him as feelings that he goes through as a gay artist, as a Chinese American, as a second generation. It's a very different angle. Like you get, I mean, there's very good work in MoMA or in Whitney, and it's very exciting that when Hong Kong is starting the whole global auction, and Lot 1 is. We have this Martin Wall, very rare to come by, and the first time appearing in auction.
And what's the estimate for it?
The estimate is just under 200,000 US.
And was there in the past some similar work at auction?
I mean, not so many works by Martin Wong comes up to the auction in general, and I think this is there hasn't been too many transactions. I think in general, and there are some comparable works, but I think this is one of the best that has come up to the market.
And so, how to give an estimate if there's no reference for this work? Do you think it's a conservatory estimate?
I think it's reasonable. And I think it's something that has been overlooked. So I think you can't really look back too much to the past and say you should have bought it when it's $150 or $100,000. But I think comparing to what is being transacted in the private sales market, I think is very reasonable.
Well,
They should be. I think there should be some good bidding activities before the hammer comes down.
So in private sales, there were big prices for Martin Wong?
I mean, in private sales, things are similar works or lesser, better work. They've already gone over 300,000 US.
How much, sorry?
They have already gone over 300,000 US.
Okay. Because
to give a very general market example.
So
depending
because
on
sorry, I was surprised because I interviewed 7 persons from in charge of this auction, and they all say that they have not they give estimate which don't care about our background now, which is quite difficult, and the fact that people are stuck, etc., and the market is stuck in a way, but they don't care. They give prices, estimates, which belong to the past time, February, January. What do you think? Is it normal? There's
Right.
no.
Do you mind repeating the question? So you think the estimates that other people you interviewed in Christie's they're saying the estimates are more
They think the
February?
prices for what at Christie's, they think the prices, the estimate for what they are proposing needs to be the same as before the Corona crisis, because it's good work. Do you think we don't have to care for the new world we are facing in the prices? What do you think will be the evolution of the prices?
I think in general, I think we've entered a time, and even before the virus time came, I think we have entered a time where specific artists they all have their own market, and that's more relevant than the general economy. So there could be a very big booming market. There's very good economy, but particular artists or particular series they just don't do well, no matter how good the economy is. And to the contrary, I think in the auction market now, we're also seeing works or specific series, colors or artists that their work continue to do well even during crisis time. So I think in at least the Hong Kong leg of the one cell, I think the estimates are very attractive. I think the works, the quality of the works are very good. They're very fresh. The Jacky is unseen in the market for 30 years. Um, the Nicholas Party is first time coming up, attractively priced. The Jonas Wood, it's easily we think is like 1/3 of what the market is.
So speak to me about the Zaouki.
The Jacky is one of the largest work in this bright red color from the Hurricane series from the 60s. So it's one of the most sought after, desirable, and iconic works. And given the size, the color, we think, I don't think it's impossible to get something that is, like 1/3 of the market price. It's hard to find something that is comparable and think that this is, at this estimate, you need to go twice to get it. I think it's such a rarity that it's impossible to find something to compare. You can, but then they come in different color. Could be the same size, but they could be brown. It's the last time that something this red and this big came out has been a very long time. So we sold another red painting, and that is even a smaller painting, and that was sold way above the current estimate. So
and red is important?
Red. I think in general, red is not the easiest to do it perfectly. And I don't think there are too many red Daoji painting, and definitely not in this scale.
No, but red in this kind of work is something which gives a plus to the work. The fact that it is red.
It's definitely a plus. It's more rare. It's more festive. Especially to Asian, is a very important color.
Why? Symbol?
It's a symbolic. It's a symbolic, very festive and very lucky color.
Okay.
This is the color that you get, in all the, like New Year's time, and it's a happy color.
And where does this Zaouki come from?
It is coming from an Asian private client collector.
And who is buying Zaouki now?
There's Asian collectors, but we're also seeing an increasing amount of Western collectors coming in, realizing in the system, in the collection, that a Zaouki is missing, especially after the Paris Museum show last year.
Was great, right?
And obviously, this is the painting that should be in that museum show, or monumental abstract. It wasn't a retrospective, but just talking about his monumental, quality, his ability to paint and communicate on large scale.
And you think that the show helped to increase the prices of Zaouki?
I think it helped to increase the visibility. Art history has been predominantly very Euro-American centric, so it's great to see a Paris show that has such a Asian voice in it, and great to do tribute to such an important artist that was active in Paris.
And did you come to see the show?
I did. I caught the last train.
and so do you know a lot of collectors from China or from Hong Kong who came to see the show?
Yeah, I think a lot of key collectors also came and supported and to just witness the moment.
And could you give me an idea of how the prices have jumped for Zaouki in the last years?
As in like percentage or just a?
Yeah.
I think it totally depending on the quality of the work, but it's hard to quantify it for just like a 3 year window or
But can we imagine that for good large-scale work, the prices have increased in the last 5 years for 30% or 50%?
I think in general, I think a healthy 30%.
30?
30. I think in general.
In
Very
general,
general.
you mean not only for the large scale, in general?
I think in general, the upper part of the market, the top quality works, I think they've gone up for 30. The sort of smaller scale people, I think that really depending on the quality of the work. There are examples where it didn't move much, or like just a good 5 to 10%, but it really depends.
And
I think we've also moved on from the time where I think in the old days it's more this particular size, this period it has is in general about like a million US, and then you go from there. Now there's a lot more flexibility in where like it's really case by case. This color, this composition, this level of visual power. There's more exception. I think the range is wider and there's more new buyers in the market. The traditional measures of it doesn't quite work, and it's hard to put a very general idea of how it's going. If you measure Zhaoji by the year, it's hard to look at it like that. And also now that the market is so mature, I think everyone is also it's harder to get a Zhaoji out to sell.
and so you observe that there are more and more buyers for the Wookiee now.
Yes, I think there are more buyers now for Zhaoji.
But I've been told the biggest collectors are in Taiwan.
The biggest collectors are in Taiwan, but then we also seen this broadening effect. I mean, it's getting to the point. I mean, the gallery shows in New York, the museum shows in Paris. You see that everywhere, and you go to Shanghai, you could see one. It's I think the flattening of the world is also helping people to look at art history very differently.
So just to conclude, you think that the former the collectors who were very active in the past in all over Asia are still very active?
I think so. I think art is something that is very difficult to give up. It's a big addiction. The collectors are very hungry to look for different arts to renew their system, to re-energize their system, and in a way to also keep themselves entertained. I mean,
It's like the casino.
totally. We never showed sunlight, and we don't have a clock in our preview either.
Ok. Merci beaucoup. Thank
Thanks,
you.
take care.
Bye bye. Thank you.
Bye.